Hey everyone, delighted to have you with us as always. Today's topic is the difference between inbound and outbound leads for your freelance business. In this video, I'm going to outline what the difference is between the two, why I believe one is better than the other, kind of the benefits and the cons, I suppose, of both of the strategies, and towards the end, how you can go about actioning the preference I suggest. So please do watch throughout the video. So first of all, what are inbound and what are outbound leads or marketing or whatever you want to call it, sales strategies? So in terms of inbound, first of all, these are people who are actively interested and searching for what you offer. So let's say, for example, you are a photographer. People who are searching for a specific type of photographer, let's say it was wedding photographer and that's what you offer, they're looking for you, they find you via your social media pages, your website, whatever it might be, and then they submit an inquiry. That's like an inbound lead. So they've come through to the site, and again at the end of this video I'm going to explain how you can make that happen for your own freelance business. Now an outbound opportunity or outbound marketing, outbound sales is more whereby you go and reach out to the prospective target audience. So somebody who you feel could be a suitable potential customer. In this case of the wedding photographer, is somebody who's got engaged, for example, and there's ways of finding that out using social media, Facebook targeting, that type of thing. You could then reach out to them and then offer your services. Okay, so you probably have a pretty good understanding of those two different strategies, and maybe you've even tried and executed both. People tend to try both and then maybe settle on a blend, which is not a bad idea, or they go one way or the other. I'm heavily weighted towards inbound. And like most of the best things, it takes time, it takes effort and hard work to see the results, but it is well worth it in the end. So inbound isn't easy because, of course, thinking back to my description of it, people finding you with intent to buy, obviously they're ideal target prospects. They don't just kind of come to you automatically. You have to do work to make that happen. And the best way to do that is to create valuable and informative and educational content about the topic. So for example, let's go back to the wedding photographer. The chances are that the couple that are getting married, have been engaged, are now looking to plan their whole wedding. So if you can create some content on your wedding photography website about planning a wedding, specifically around your expertise in wedding photography, for example, to say how long do you need to book in advance would be a good example. How much will it cost a wedding photographer? What are the best types of photography in terms of color, black and white, all those types of things. This obviously isn't my area of expertise, but I can still come up with some ideas, because if you can create this resource basically for potential prospects, you're going to be able to be found on your website. And that could be things like organic search, so via Google search, literally people searching for queries about wedding photography. Could be via social media, because you can be sharing this content on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, for example. That's going to get engaged with, that's going to get shared, that's going to get retweeted, that's going to get people liking the post, clicking links through to your website. You could create video content like this about the topic, so that people who are using YouTube search, which obviously is one of the second biggest search platform after Google, they're going to be finding you via there as well. So what you can see here is you have to put all the work in, but then what will happen over time is as you build up your reputation and credibility, people are going to find you online and they're going to want to work with you. So they're going to be inbound leads. Now, the reason why I really love inbound leads is two things. First of all, they're much easier to deal with. So they come with high intent. They want to work with you. You have a good conversation. If it's a good fit, you will progress through to the deal much easier and much quicker. So it's less stressful. You can schedule it. It will happen quite quickly. And very rarely will you get into the weeds of negotiations on costs. Not saying that won't happen, but less so than with outbound opportunities as well. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits and cons of outbound. Well, the benefit is the fact that you can just start immediately. So you don't need to create all this work, do all this content, publish all this different, I say videos or blogs or whatever, and then wait for the results to happen over time. You can actually take a lead on it and say, right, I'm going to do some outreach now. So you can get onto LinkedIn, you can go onto Facebook, you can, get on your emails, and you can do cold outreach to potential prospects for your freelance business. And as I say, when you're first starting out and you haven't really got the content or the credibility that inbound supplies, it can be tempting to go down the outbound route. The reasons why I don't like it are kind of the opposite of some of the benefits of inbound in many ways. Is they're much harder deals to do, because even if you can get them kind of on the hook to have some conversations with you, the way that the whole dynamic has started is you've come out of nowhere really. You don't really know if they have any intent. You might get lucky where they actually do need your services and it is kind of like a good time to have reached out to them, but you still have to go through a whole process of kind of like explaining why you're the right person and getting over a lot of hurdles and objections and things like that. Not to say that won't happen with inbound leads, but I would say much less so, and it's much easier when they've come to you rather than you going to them. So can you do deals via it? Of course you can, but it's going to be harder. It's going to take more time. You're more likely to get difficult clients, I've found, and also when I touched earlier in terms of costs, that is going to be more something that's going to come up in terms of negotiations. Inbound leads are much likely to want to negotiate or get discounts. Outbound leads, because of the way they've reached them, they're definitely going to leverage that because they see that the dynamic is that you need their work more than they kind of need you potentially. So that's why I don't particularly like it. So, as always, in the comments, if you disagree or if you have some great experience of cold outreach, and I know some people do fantastically well with that and have built really successful freelance businesses off the back of it. So it isn't to say that it can't work, because it certainly can, but it's not my preferred method, because I would rather take my time, build up my freelance business in a more steady way by going through the inbound methodology, because as I say, it's less stressful, you get better clients, it's higher quality, they'll pay you more, it takes time to get there, but over time the results are well worth it in my view. So some of the actionable steps you can do to actually move forward if you do agree or certainly want to have a go at the inbound side of things for your freelance business is speak to your audience. Do research, engage in online communities where your target audience hangs out. What are the sort of questions they're often asking? What are the challenges and the problems that they have? Build up a picture, and this doesn't have to be directly about your service, but certainly related. As I said about the photography thing with a wedding photographer, they may have queries about wedding planning as a whole, which you can help on, because obviously if you work in that space, you probably have some experience and some contacts, and you can leverage that. So think about, what are the key challenges, problems, questions your target audience asks, and how can you best help them answer those queries? So whether that's writing blog posts, publishing videos, collaborating with someone you work with on a kind of a post or a joint video or an interview type format. Could you create a guide that a prospect could download, and then obviously you can go through your sales process off the back of that, a guide to helping them achieve whatever they're looking to do. So once you have those ideas planned out, then you can start to put your content strategy in place, as I say, and again you can think what kind of content format suits my audience best, and then create content in that format, test it, see what the data is telling you in terms of results, engagement. How well is it being responded to? Are you finding people liking the posts and engaging? And once you kind of get some traction on certain areas, you can then double down on that and kind of create more content on the same topic. And over time, you're going to see what's working, let the market tell you what you should create more of, and you'll start to get this flow of inbound leads and inquiries. And once you get there, it's just about momentum. You've got to keep going, keep building, keep adding content, and you'll get to the point where you have this constant inbound sales process happening, where you're getting a consistent amount of high quality leads, and you don't have to spend any money on advertising, you don't have to spend any time and stress on the outbound side of things, because you have this nice stream of inbound leads, as I mentioned. And subject to what you want to do with your freelance business, that could certainly be more than enough to have you a very, very nice and successful, lucrative freelance business. So as I say, always open for different views on this. I know this is a contrarian topic, people have kind of one way or the other, but yeah, let me know. I hope this one was helpful as always, and I will see you on the next one.